Managing the global commons is not a new problem. It's one that we've been grappling with for over 500 years, at least in economic literature. But what is new is the extent of the population of the world and our interconnectedness. So there are more actors, and we know from global commons analysis that the more actors there are, the more difficult it is to manage these commons. What's rational for a single individual or for a country is not rational for us collectively, and that's the key problem. The fall of the Berlin Wall, the integration of economies around the world, the opening up of China, has led to a much tighter connectiveness between all of us and all our countries and all our actions. And what I'm particularly interested in is the systemic integration and how we manage it. It's brought immense benefits. The growth in container traffic, the growth in trade has led to leaps in life expectancy, to the decline of illiteracy, to incomes growing. So the benefits are enormous. But the underbelly of this is that there is systemic risk and growing inequality. This systemic risk threatens to undermine the very project of globalization, as does inequality. Inequality has virtually doubled over the last 20 years in many countries, and this brings many issues with it. But systemic risk, which leads to transmission of these risks around the world, is one that we're just beginning to understand. The financial crisis was the first of the great systemic crises of the 21st century. And it has its characteristic of being completely unforeseen by the very institutions that were created to manage it. The IMF did not see this coming, nor did the Bank for International Settlements or the central banks. Over 20,000 economists around the world focusing on this didn't see it coming. So we're going to have many more surprises. Globalization is leading to a transmission mechanisms which are unknown before. And so it was with the swine flu, which over a 6-month period went into 142 countries. And this is symptomatic of the speed of transmission, which is the underbelly of globalization, this interdependence from integration. And so what we need to understand is how we manage the explosive potential of this. We were remarkably good in the 20th century at managing the power of nuclear explosion. Will we be able to manage the new type of threats, where individuals, for the first time, have the power to create pathogens which could destroy large parts of humanity, where individual actions and corporate actions, such as the Exxon Valdez disaster, rapidly transmit to bring down those individuals and those corporates in ways that were unimaginable before? So it's the speed of transmission and the global nature of it that we need to manage. And that is the new global commons challenge. It's one of integration, and it's one of reputation, but also of real risk. We saw with the Aral Sea, which collapsed over about a 20-year period, that countries were not able to come together to manage this common resources. All of the individual actions to draw irrigation water, in this case, led to a collapse of this ocean. But there's another good example over the same period, and that is of the Mediterranean, where over 20 countries over the same period came together and saved the Mediterranean through the MedPlan project. This is a remarkable story of how you can get it right. And it's both because these countries had their citizens active, which did not happen in the case of the Aral Sea, as well as the fact that there was good analysis of the issues and quick intervention. Now, there will be enormous growth in the risk. All of these individuals in developing countries have the rights to transport and energy as we do. But if they all do that, we'll have a major threat. Technologies provide some of the answer. But as my 14-year-old son squeezing into this car shows, we're not there yet. We need to accelerate progress. We need to ensure that the very good examples, such as this green building in Tokyo, are mainstreamed, that this becomes the norm of technology and of society. So accelerating this progress is vital. And we need to ensure that we use the new technologies that allow everyone to be informed to help with this process. The main challenge is going to be to ensure that we can use this technology not only to transmit risk, but to transmit understanding, to transmit collective action, so that we come together with a common knowledge based on these new tools, where individuals who were previously completely out of the system can leapfrog into it, have the same opportunities as a kid in New York. So ensuring that they understand collectively that we have this shared space and are able to act on it is the vital challenge. The institutional challenge is that the system that we've set up after the Second World War is fossilized. It is not fit for purpose. We have a series of institutions that have demonstrated, as with the financial crisis, that they will not be able to meet the challenge. So this rapid transformation of this system into something which allows 21st century global commons management is the biggest challenge of all. It will be a multifaceted system, it will be a networked system, but it needs to be one that we all urgently need to focus on. And my colleague, Tim Garton-Ash, is going to provide some hints as where we may go with this. Thank you.